managed to well, Jupiter's kind of the reverse. What happens with Jupiter is we grow and grow and grow and expand, and then what happens is the bubble bursts. So you have to be careful with Jupiter that you're not expanding too much, and with Saturn you have to learn how to get past the limitations. And the symbolism for this is that Saturn is the furthermost planet that we can see with the naked eye. Anyway, they tend to travel, the cycles of Jupiter and Saturn are very important in astrology. And of course, the story of Saturn, inasmuch as he castrated his father, Uranus, was repeated by Zeus or Jupiter when he in turn castrated Saturn. Now, the idea of this castration was that it was a death, kind of a spiritual death that had to happen because there was nothing more to be learned from the particular philosophy that was going on at the time, which is the pagan earlier religions. So this was in turn when the, modern Christianity, modern thought, when the shift came in. And Jupiter is also the ancient ruler of Pisces, and we've been in the Piscean age for the last 2,000 years. So basically the idea is that when Jupiter Zeus hurt his brother Saturn in the way in which he did, he was allowing Christianity to come into its own. And the symbol of Christianity, of course, is the fish, which in the sign of Pisces is also the sign of the fish. So anyway, you can see that these symbolisms are kind of ongoing things, and the nature of astrology is that what you're trying to do with the symbolisms is correlate them to your innermost being, because sometimes it's hard to express it in very concrete language. We have to use the poetry and the imagery and the color and all of these different kinds of ways of being to really root out what it is that we need to understand about ourselves.
Mary Michele is with us, and if you have a call about it, if you have a question about this, or you want your horoscope read today, 241-1310, the number to call. All right. Saturn, Satan, Jupiter, Pisces. I sat here and I was going like this because I was getting a little confused.
Right. Well, the thing is that one does get confused. I get confused with it all the time. I mean, these kinds of images are not things that you can sort of put into some kind of a little locked box and say that's exactly the way it is. Of course, if you work in the clergy, if you're a priest or a rabbi or someone that works within the confines of theology, then the history is always right there at your fingertips, so that you can correlate some of these ideas with history, with the facts, and so on. But most of us have trouble with this idea of, trying to make this realistic, make something terribly realistic out of sometimes images that we have or dreams that we have. But we have to learn to get better at it. And we do it when we do things like watch the Beatles anthology last night. Take us back, Well, I think a lot of people watched the Beatles thing.
Yes, they did.
Because it really brought us back to a time that, we remember as our lost youth kind of thing.
I would love to relive that. By the way, we have a phone call, so let's get to that right now. Julie is on the phone. Julie is calling from Chappaqua. Happy birthday, a day late to Julie. Her date of birth is November 23rd, 1950. Good morning, Julie. Happy birthday. You're on with Mary Michele.
Morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Julie.
Hi. I'm calling for my horoscope, but also just to find out what direction I'm going in. I'm having a little bit difficult time now. With stability and with knowing where I'm going.
Okay. All right. You were born the first day of Sagittarius, November 23rd, 1950, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The first day of Sagittarius, you were born with the moon in Taurus. The moon is exalted there. So, I don't know if you've heard what I've said about this before, but the moon in Taurus is about getting what you need. It's considered the best place for the moon, and as a rule, you will have, always at the 11th hour, you will get what you need.
At the last minute.
At the last minute. So Mercury in Sag, and let's see, 23rd. And Venus in Sag. So you have a lot of Sagittarian energy here. Last week with this week actually, Thursday and today, there were these 7 planets in Sagittarius. So this this is a time that you're being given a lot of insight. You're being given a lot of creativity, which you have to tap into. And what happens lots of times is that we busy our brain with all different kinds of facts and figures and things that we have to do in our social calendar. So then it's hard for us to really come up with new ideas and new concepts. So, what I would suggest is that it's a very good time for you to pay attention to those thoughts or dreams or that in-between time. Not the times when you're like busy doing something, but that you might just be daydreaming or stargazing, or those are going to be the moments that you really have to cultivate right now, because you're going to get a lot of new ideas.
I'm a yearning for solitude right now, and I guess that's what you're speaking to.
Yeah, I think it's really good to do that. Are you working? Do you need to work right now, or?
I am working. I'm an artist and a designer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're going to get inspiration both on the creative level and also creative financial level.
But that's nice to hear.
Right. It's always about both. You really can't have one without the other. I mean, I think that when you're feeling very, very clear about your creativity, of course, sometimes the process of creativity is that you have to clear away and go in and face certain depths and deal with certain issues that perhaps you'd rather not look at. But these are the things that are going to really give you that sense of rebirth and that sense of new ideas and new concepts and new creativity. So even if you have to examine some of the dark side, allow it to happen, and then you'll come into your own with the new ideas for your art.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling, Julie. If you have a question for Mary Michele, 241-1310. 241-1310. We do have an open line now, and we're going to get back with Mary Michele right after these words.
Soap operas are a little duller. Game shows lose. Talk shows are just talk.
Today we're going to be talking with...
Now that there's Court TV weekdays. It isn't staged television played to be dramatic. Court TV is the real-life drama of justice, live as it happens day in and day out, Monday through Friday, and nothing else comes close. From the Rodney King police brutality trial to the custody battle over Gregory Kay. From charges of gay bashing in the military to the case of Reginald Denny, Court TV brings an impartial, objective look into America's courtrooms. It's the real whole story. Most people say Court TV is so riveting, it's addictive. But you can turn it off and do the 100 other things that make up your week. Court TV keeps you posted on trial development so you're never lost. Watch Court TV weekdays. Court TV. Watch a little. Watch a lot.
And you can call Cablevision of Yorktown at 962-4444 for additional information. We're going to get back to Mary Michele in 1 minute.
Call me an early bird, but when I get up at 5 a.m., I'm ready to tackle my day head on. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who likes to get things done, and I just may start balancing my checkbook before the sun comes up. Of course, it used to be if I had a question about a utility bill, I would call after I got to the office. But now that Con Edison has introduced TeleChoice, their 24-hour customer service line, I'm in business around the clock. I just dial the TeleChoice customer service number, and the system guides me to all the information I need.
Your last payment was received on...
And it even lets me talk with a representative at any time.
Good morning. This is Miss Figueroa. How can I help you?
TeleChoice is quick, it's easy, and it's always there for me, so I can get the answer I need, even if most of the world is still sleeping.
Check your Con Edison bill for your account number and the number to call. Then just pick up the phone. It's that simple. TeleChoice, your 24-hour connection to Con Edison.
And welcome back to Meet the VIPs with Mary Michele, taking your calls on astrology at 241-1310. 241-1310. Maxine called. She had to go out to the store, but she said she was going to listen on the car radio. Today's her birthday, 11/24. She was born in 1948. She just wanted to know general trends.
Okay, well, first of all, happy birthday, Maxine. You have the moon in Virgo, the sun in Sagittarius, as I am sure you know, and Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Libra, Mars in Sagittarius. this Sun-Mars element is something that gives you a tremendous amount of energy. You're someone that is able to get up and get going and make things happen in the morning and throughout the day. I mean, you know how to use your energy wisely. You have a Moon-Saturn conjunction, which is it's about a certain amount of limitation surrounding your feelings, so that sometimes when you think about your feelings, or when you try to work with your feelings, you might try to restrict them a little too much. And also, just the whole idea of thinking logically sometimes might be something that is frustrating to you. Although you probably do it most of the time. But it might be fun to just kind of say gobbledygook and do things that don't make sense and dance around the maypole kind of thing. Let's see. This Mercury in Scorpio, with the planet Pluto having moved on, you know, there should be a lightness surrounding your mind coming, you know, for the next 10 years, really. There's quite a long period here of you allowing your ability to communicate and your ability to work with other people and so on is going to become much more philosophical. You're not going to feel as overwhelmed by other people's issues. You'll be able to think about it more clearly. With Venus in Libra, it should be a very good time right now for love. So whatever it is that however you're manifesting this, whoever you're, you know, spending time with that you really enjoy being with, it should be, you know, you should be able to show and also receive well how that person loves you and how you love them.
This is a dumb question, but people who are born on a certain date, are there, within a year or two of each other, the planets are in different locations, so I assume each of them, although they may be born, let's say we use today, 11/24, you just did 48. If it was a couple of years later, there were slightly different characteristics. I mean, the lady who called before, Julie, who was born the 23rd in 1950. Are there general characteristics, though, about Sagittarians? Because we're there now.
Well, the outer planets, the planets that we can't see with the naked eye, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, these are the planets that govern generations. So certainly someone that was born in, you know, I can't remember exactly when Pluto went into Leo. Let's see, I think it was the early 40s. Anyway, the early 40s was when the Pluto and Leo generation started, and they kind of correspond with the baby boom idea. Pluto and Cancer were the people that were involved in the Second World War, and when they came out of the Second World War, they really wanted to give, this is astrologically speaking, the idea is that they really wanted to give a tremendous amount to their children, as much as they possibly could, because they'd been through so much suffering and so on, and they believed that, you know, but in a way, the Pluto and Leo generation ended up being a little self-centered. Leo is the sign that likes to be, you know, the head kid that plays in the sandbox, and everything has to be kind of my way, you know. So
a little bossy there, huh?
A little bossy. So the Pluto and Leo generation, and also in as much as we're the generation that came of age in the communication age, you know, we let everybody know what we're feeling, whether we feel good, whether we feel bad, whether we want to make love and not war, whether we want to know exactly how, you know, why our parents treated us such and such a way. You know, I mean, there's always this issue with Pluto and Leo that, you know, it's a little bit putting the blame on someone else. Now, with Pluto having gone into Sagittarius, I think the Pluto and Leo generation is going to be tremendously helpful. We're finally going to come into our own. I think it's a generation, you know, it'll happen usually in the, you know, late 40s, early 50s, that I think people start to take on a certain degree of responsibility that they haven't in the past. They're right at that age where they're balancing maturity. You know, the youth is kind of gone, and the degeneration hasn't started to happen yet. So it's this balancing of maturity. And the Pluto and Leo generation we are now, with Pluto and Sagittarius having just moved in there, really going to be able to use whatever we've learned, hopefully, from these slightly, because whenever we were too self-centered, we were put down. I mean, people were very quick to say that, you know, the me generation, or, you know, the yuppies, or the this or the that, or the, you know, there was kind of a focus always that, you know, people of this age group were. So I think we had to constantly be re-examining exactly this idea of looking at ourselves. But it's terribly important, because you can't really go on to help someone else until you've examined all of your motivations and how you can deal with things and understand things and explain things. So it's really, it's also about, as a generational thing, about us learning how to give back the wisdom that we've learned. So anyway, the three outer planets do this. Neptune in Libra, also from the early 40s. Didn't last quite as long as Pluto, and Uranus in, I think, Gemini. So anyway, these outer planets will have trends. So in a roundabout way, getting back to the answer to your question, Mike, we will have certain similarities that will affect us. Jung called it the collective unconscious. So it's how we collectively deal with things. Certainly we will all have our own ways of manifesting the individual traits, because the inner planets, the personal planets, will be different. And every year they're different.
All right.
So,
we're going to get to Sam, who's on the phone from Bedford, in 1 minute. You're talking to Mary Michele at WVIP. 241-1310, the number to call if you have a question about your horoscope or astrology. 241-1310. Back with Sam in 1 minute. In just one instance, disaster can strike your home, whether due to fire, flooding, or roof collapse. Any accident that necessitates an evacuation, major repair, or cleanup effort can leave your family on the street with no place to go and no one to turn to. Now introducing Personal Disaster Recovery Service. PDRS dispatches qualified personnel anytime, day or night, to assist with temporary lodging and a cash advance of up to $500. PDRS will dispatch a contractor to board and secure the damaged area to protect from unwanted intruders. They'll even secure kennel facilities for the family pets. If you travel for business, have elderly parents, or are a seasonal resident, when disaster strikes, Personal Disaster Recovery Service is your advocate on the scene until you personally take charge. So before disaster strikes, reserve your peace of mind today. Personal Disaster Recovery Service is there to help you with the same security and safety plan already in use by most major corporations. For peace of mind, call 1-800-435-7016. That's 1-800-HELP-016. And the first 10 callers to review and activate the PDRS plan will receive a free personal home fire extinguisher. Call 1-800-HELP-016 today and sleep soundly knowing that if disaster strikes, PDRS will be there to help. Dial 1-800-HELP-016 right now. All right, let's get back with Mary Michele. Good morning. We're talking to Sam, who's watching on cable channel 12 in Bedford. Date of birth, October 12th, 1937. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning.
good morning, Sam.
I love your show. I was just calling because I have a question. I'm a Libra. I think I'm a Libra.
Yes.
1237. And every year I've spent Christmas at home. This year we're planning to go on a very long trip during Christmas time, and I didn't know whether my stars would indicate whether that was a bad thing to do or not.
You know, I certainly don't think that... You have a lot of planets in Capricorn. You have the moon in Capricorn, sun in Libra, moon in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn is Christmas time. It's Saturn, what I've been talking about today. I think that it's terribly important for Saturn to have change, to move, to have, variety in life, because the nature of Capricorn and the planet Saturn is that they tend to kind of get stuck. So it's very important to move on, to have, different. When are you thinking of going?
Just before Christmas time.
Just before Christmas. Well, I think it'll be very good. I mean, I think you'll have a lot of variety. Let me just look here. Just before Christmas, yeah, I mean, it's a very good indication for loving where you're going. Venus is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. Mars will be in Capricorn. Uranus, Neptune. There's a lot of, I think that you'll enjoy very much. Are you going somewhere far away, somewhere pretty?
Down in South America.
Oh, well, that's perfect, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have a sun-moon square, sun and moon, and it's a hard angle, so there's always a little bit with all this Capricorn energy, a fight. You're struggling against the sun in Libra. You're struggling against the nature of beauty. The nature of diplomacy and so on. The Sun in Libra, Mercury in Libra, it indicates, someone that's extremely diplomatic. But sometimes with the Moon, Mars, and Jupiter in Capricorn, this person wants to call a spade a spade. So anyway, I think that you have to incorporate those two different energies, and there might be a little bit of that on the trip.
I see.
Put your foot down.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thanks for calling, Sam. It's 9:36 at WVIP. We have an open line at 241-1310, 241-1310. Any questions about astrology or your horoscopes? Mary Michele is here. Let's get to Angela. Angela is listening on radio from Katona. Date of birth is May 28th, 1965. Angela, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning.
Did you have a particular question?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I've had a bad streak of luck with men, and I'm just wondering if maybe I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm currently dating a Libra. Before him, it was a Gemini, and I just felt that the two of us clashed.
You have a lot of Earth planets. I mean, you're someone that's quite solid. You have the Moon in Taurus, you have Mercury in Taurus, Mars in Virgo, Uranus and Pluto in Virgo. You're very kind of grounded, even though you have the Sun in Gemini that kind of likes to go in many different directions. I think the thing is that eventually in life we have to realize the opposite of our sun sign. So what you might want to look for are Sagittarian traits in people. Someone that can be can talk to you of higher learning, can talk to you of philosophy, things that would stimulate you. Someone that might want to go traveling with you and explore different cultures and societies and people and so on. You need to eventually develop that kind of a partnership. That's the kind of person that you need to have. But with all these planets in Earth, there's something you need to have a great sense of security as well. Of course, I think you probably could provide that. The Moon in Taurus, again, as I've said before, is someone that, gets what they need with money and how you handle, tangible things, real estate, Mercury in Taurus, even the way you think. I mean, you might think very clearly about money. You might have good perceptions always about it. Venus and Gemini, okay, well now this is relating to the Sun, so this is where your attraction for air sign people might come in. And, it's always harmonious to be with someone that's of the same element. Gemini's an air sign, Libra's an air sign. I don't know as it's going to be quite as long-term for you, though, because you're going to need these other components of fire and probably some water, someone that will bring you some way of working with your emotions. I'd have to see the other person's chart, the person that you're dating right now. Does any of this ring true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want Mary Michele to take a look at the chart of the other person? You know that person's date of birth?
It's 5/2/70, May 2nd.
Oh, that was my father's birthday, but he was a lot older than that.
5/2. That's May.
Yes.
I thought you said Libra. Okay, 5/2/70. Okay, this person has the Sun in Taurus, the Moon in Pisces. This is an easy angle. This person works well with their inner being. They can bring their emotions to the surface. They might be a little too compassionate from time to time. But the Sun, Mercury, Taurus, this is very good for you. Saturn in Taurus, the Moon in Pisces is good for you. That's the water that I was talking about. And this is someone that, again, it's important to have security. And this person could offer you a certain security. Venus, Mars, and Gemini. This person's got the planet, the male and female within is conjunct your sun. This is a very good compliment to you. Hello?
I'm here.
This looks like a good chart, a good compliment to you. In many different ways.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Okay, Angela, thanks for calling. Angela calling from Katona. We do have an open line again at 241-1310. 241-1310 to talk to Mary Michele. If you have a question about your horoscope, things like that, we will be back in 2 minutes. D'Agostino Carpet celebrates this holiday with the grand opening of their new area rug gallery. You'll find savings and selections not to be found anywhere else. Area rugs for every room, including needlepoint and tribal rugs, 50% off wool oriental rugs in all colors and sizes. The area's largest selection of magnificent area rugs from around the world at the lowest prices imaginable. You have to see it to believe it, and the professionals at D'Agostino Carpet are available to answer all of your questions just in time for the holiday. For 25 years of carpet excellence, it's D'Agostino's new area rug gallery right next to D'Agostino's Carpet, 487 East Main Street, Mount Kisco.
Your old copier got you down? Had enough of the breakdowns, the hassles, the aggravation? Well, throw your old troubles out the window. Call Dan the Copy Man at E&S Copy, the Panasonic copy machine specialist. 699-7117. E&S Copy offers competitive prices on the lease or purchase of copy machines, whether you need one or 101. With an E&S Panasonic copier, all you ever have to do is load the paper and push a button. They handle everything else, from routine maintenance to supplies and service. E&S services all Panasonic copiers. They pride themselves on their quick, efficient, courteous service. Thinking of upgrading your machine? Give E&S Copy a call. We'll even pay off your old lease and allow you to get into today's most state-of-the-art machines. At E&S, you're never a number, and E&S Copy personally guarantees your satisfaction as they have for 25 years. For purchases, leasing, supplies, and service, call Dan the Copy Man at E&S Copy, phone 699-7117. E&S also services Xerox, Konica, and A.B. Dick copiers. Phone 699-7117. That's 699-7117.
And welcome back to Meet the VIPs with Mary Michele, taking your calls on astrology at 241-1310. If you have a particular question, how your horoscope and the planets affect your life, great time to get in, 241-1310. Ah, yes. What is this now? She's on the phone now. Yes. Good. Stephanie, good morning. Stephanie's date of birth, January 5th, 1971. 1571. Good morning, Stephanie. Where are you calling from, by the way?
Katona.
Katona. Nice little community. You're on with Mary Michele. Good morning.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Did you have a particular question?
I'm thinking of moving in with my boyfriend, and we have an apartment, and we're trying to find someone to fulfill our where we live right now, because we have to break a lease.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know if you know if this is the right move.
Let's see. You have the sun in Capricorn, the moon in Taurus. This is a very harmonious angle. You have Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio. You know, I think that you've probably been stuck for a long time, and it's time for you to make the move. When exactly are you thinking of moving into this new place?
The first of the year.
Right, that's perfect. I wouldn't suggest, you probably won't have much satisfaction in terms of getting someone to take over your place until probably very late in the game, right at the last minute. But, you know, it's a very, very good time for you to make this shift and to make this change. Was there something else that you wanted to know about?
I don't know.
Okay. You have Mercury in Sagittarius, which is, you know, the sign that we're in right now. So all of these planets in Sagittarius that have happened yesterday and today have been really stimulating you to reach out and have new ideas and communicate with people in new ways. And this is something that will probably be in effect for quite some time. So I think in terms of being able to find people that will help you with this or help you in other areas of your life, something that's going to inspire you in your work and so on. Are you enjoying the work that you're doing now?
Yes.
Well, I think that you're going to find people that are going to help you enjoy it even more. There's going to be new stimulation there. You're going to be able to think about it in ways that you hadn't thought about it before.